Once upon a time, in the ancient city of Athens, there lived a man named Ariston. He was not the richest nor the most powerful, but he carried himself with a quiet strength that made people respect him. Ariston had learned the teachings of Stoicism, a philosophy that taught him the value of self-sufficiency. He believed that true happiness did not come from outside things, money, fame, or even the approval of others, but from within. One day, a great storm swept through Athens. The winds howled, the rain poured, and the rivers overflowed. Many people lost their homes, their crops, and their belongings. The city was in chaos. People rushed to the markets, desperate to buy food and supplies before they ran out. They pushed and shouted, fighting over the last scraps. But Ariston remained calm. He had prepared for such a day. His small house was sturdy, his pantry was full, and his mind was at peace. A neighbor, a man named Lycus, came to Ariston's door in panic. "Ariston, the markets are empty. I have no food, no firewood. What will I do?" he cried. Ariston welcomed him inside, shared his meal, and gave him warm clothes. Lycus was amazed. "How are you so calm when everyone else is afraid?" he asked. Ariston smiled. "Because I do not depend on the markets or the weather for my peace. I depend on myself." The Stoics teach us that we cannot control the world, but we can control how we prepare and how we react. I knew storms would come, so I prepared. But even if I had not, I would not despair. Lycus sat quietly, thinking. But what if you lose everything? What then? Then I still have myself. Ariston replied, "My thoughts, my choices, my character, these cannot be taken by any storm." The Stoic philosopher Epictetus was once a slave. He had nothing, not even his freedom. Yet he said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Even in chains, he was freer than many wealthy men because his mind was his own. Lycus frowned. "But how can I live like that? I need money. I need comfort. The world is harsh." Ariston nodded. "The world is harsh, yes, but we make it harsher by depending too much on what it gives us. A Stoic trains himself to need little, not because he hates comfort, but because he knows it is unreliable. If you can be content with little, you will never be a slave to wanting more." Over time, Lycus began to change. He stopped spending all his money on fine clothes and feasts. He saved instead. He learned to mend his own sandals, to cook simple meals, to find joy in small things. When another storm came, he was ready. He even helped others, just as Ariston had helped him. Years passed, and Athens faced new troubles. War came, and many were forced to flee. Again, people clung to their possessions, fearing loss. But Lycus and Ariston carried only what they needed. Their real wealth was inside them, their courage, their wisdom, their ability to adapt. One evening, as they sat by a fire outside the city, Lycus turned to Ariston. "I used to think self-sufficiency meant being alone, needing no one. But now I see it differently. When you depend less on things, you can give more to others. You help me because you are not struggling for yourself first." Ariston nodded. "That is the secret. A self-sufficient man is not a selfish man. He is strong, so he can be kind. The Stoics say we are made for each other. But to help others well, we must first learn to stand on our own. We must first learn to stand on our own." The fire crackled, and the stars shone above. In that quiet moment, Lycus understood the true importance of self-sufficiency. It was not about rejecting the world, but about mastering oneself so one could face the world without fear. And that, he realized, was the heart of Stoicism. From that day on, he lived with a new strength. He knew that no storm, no war, no loss could break him, because the most important things could never be taken away. And that, dear listener, is the lesson for all of us. The world will always change. Fortunes will rise and fall. But if we cultivate self-sufficiency, if we learn to rely on our own minds and virtues, we will always be free. This is the way of the Stoics. This is the path to inner strength.